Hello everyone and welcome to Club Live here at Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. We are live on YouTube tonight, so as usual, get your comments in. Jamie's going to work the comments for me tonight. If I get time, I'll answer some questions. The usuals, if you can like and share, we are extremely close to 6,000 subscribers. Depending how the result goes tomorrow, I think we may get there potentially, good or bad. But before I introduce my two guests tonight, I know a lot of you'll know already. Carney put a post up on the socials. Unfortunately, we have had to cancel the live show at the Loudon on the 31st of May. Unfortunately, Scott at the moment, as you know, can't be in the podcast. He sends out his regards in terms of people that have showed support for him, and he thanks everyone very much. He will be back on the podcast, but just at the moment, he'll be taking a wee back seat at the moment, so you're stuck with us lot at the moment. But we will come back with a live show. Don't you worry about it. But just at the moment, Scott's he wouldn't be ready to do it. It wouldn't be fair on Scott to do it on the 31st of May as well. So for me and the rest of the guys, we wish him well and we're behind him. So yes, moving on. Quite hard to move on from that. But my first guest tonight is Jamie. How are you tonight?
Boys, good to see you. It's been a couple of weeks. I actually borrowed some of Ryan's holiday days to jet off to Lisbon last week, which was very nice. So a bit of sun. I'm back. I'm almost kind of wishing that I was still on holiday, so I didn't actually have to watch tomorrow. Because boys, I'm not feeling good about it. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But moving on, maybe you can give me some positivity tonight, lads.
I was about to say, there's only one man in this podcast that brings the negativity, Jamie, and it's usually Mr. Haymarch below me. So I introduced him, Mr. Haymarch. No holidays.
No holidays, Kurt Zouma. Your cat hater. I've been exchanging texts with you all day about your dog and such like. But when you said about the cats earlier on, I thought that's a yellow card for me. So our friendship is well in the balance at the moment. Good to see you boys. Good to see you, Jamie. I hope you enjoyed Lisbon. I've not caught up with you yet, but please tell me you've hoovered my private jet before you've returned it.
I'm keeping it, mate. I'm keeping it. That's you now. That's you. Scott said you've maxed out at 200 days holiday per year, so that's you finished, mate.
Oh well, I'll need to be unpaid leave in a few weeks because I'm away to Italy in a few weeks. So
I was about to say, you're not using that again?
I'm away to 4 weeks today, so the season will be well and truly done by then. But anyway, we're here to talk about Rangers, aren't we? And we'll try and get as positive as we can, lads. We've got to. You're forced into a corner here, so we'll try as best we can to have a positive podcast.
I know, unbelievable Ryan's holidays, but anyway, we'll move on from Ryan's holidays. But thanks very much, Gordon Addy, for the super sticker.
Amazing,
much appreciated from everyone here. So, lads, we'll get straight into it. Basically, I last week unfortunately had a wedding. Me and Ryan off camera have just said, why do people have weddings during a season? I know Ryan was telling me he's got one in the Scottish Cup final night, which isn't ideal. So yes, I missed the game on Sunday. It was. I did see bits of it on my way to the wedding. It didn't start well, but I just wanted to get into it first. Ryan, I'll come to you first. Obviously, Rangers won the game 4-1 eventually, but after the game, there's been a couple of videos emerged of abuse to the players. I don't know if it was yourself that was abusing Borna Barisic outside the ground, but Borna got it, and also Jack Butland got it. And the guy apparently pays Jack Butland's wages, which I found quite amusing. But I just thought that bit outside the ground is for kids, really, to get autographs and stuff with the players. And the players, whatever you think about them, they shouldn't be abused leaving the football club, especially after winning 4-1. But I don't know what your thoughts were on it, Ryan. I just thought it was a shame, to be honest.
Aye, and it's a shame because things like that have happened over the years, are they? But today's world, there's always a camera phone in the vicinity, and for some weird reason, which makes it even worse, somebody loves to put something like that on social media. The guy, for me, that's recording is as bad as the person that's giving the players abuse. Why you would think, oh, this is a good idea, I'll put this on social media, which is just food for everybody that dislikes us. I don't know why you would do that, but let's get it's not a nice thing to talk about. Firstly, you can't abuse players. They're human beings at the end of the day. In the ground, I do it. I shout at them. I let off some steam, whatever you want to call it. When these guys come out the ground, you can't be walking up to them and abusing them. My understanding is because he wouldn't sign something or whatever. I don't know if he's well known, this fella, or I'm kind of surmising a bit. But yeah, for me, that bit's for kids to get a picture taken. The players, I've saw so much footage of players getting a picture taken with kids, and that's a great thing. But now this instance, well, a couple of instances have circulated around social media, and it makes me think, right, why are we putting the players in the side door? Do we now have to take this away and go back to the way it was before COVID and get the players in the front door and they don't talk to MD? And that's a sad state of affairs. But if you are going up to a player and you're abusing them because he won't sign it, if you're abusing them full stop, you want to have a look at yourself as an adult. You want to give that a buy. If you want to have a quiet conversation, if you see them in the street and you just say, listen, how do you think things are going? I think the team could be doing better at this, that's fine. I think most of the players would have a conversation with you. Abusing them is not correct, not fair, and it's that for me, that guy should be, if he's anyone near the entrance bit for all the players again, I think he should be escorted away from the police for the premises because he's clearly an absolute pest.
Yeah, Jamie, I don't know what your thoughts are on it, but I just saw it it ruined it, and Ryan's right. In this day and age with camera phones and stuff, I mean, you can't escape everything's recorded these days, and I just thought it will get to the point. I agree with Ryan. It'll get to the point where Rangers will go, right, we'll just wait till the crowds goes and you'll go a separate way and you won't even talk to them, and it'll ruin it for good, honest fans that want to say or get an autograph from the players or for the kids. And I just thought it, like I said, it ruined that day, and it didn't show a good light. And us as a support, I know it's an extreme minority, but you don't want to see that, especially when a Rangers talk.
Well, I mean, up front, it's for the kids anyway, isn't it? It's for them to see their heroes and get shirts signed and autograph book signs and things like that. I just think the whole thing was farcical. I think they need to get rid of it. I said to you boys on the WhatsApp chat, I think you got to remember that these players, although we're going through a very sticky patch right now, they're still getting on that pitch and they're still playing football. They're still trying, right? So to be there, and even Barisic, I'm not Barisic's biggest fan, but even going up and standing, giving him abuse, as Ryan said, in the ground, see if you want to do it in the ground, you pay your season ticket money. If you want to shout at them in there, shout at them in there. If you want to leave early, leave early. That's fair dues. That's your seat and you paid it. But I just think, on the whole, ruining it for primarily the importance of it is for kids to go and see their heroes and see their favourite player, and there's old guys standing with shirts and then selling them on eBay. I just think the whole thing's a joke now. I just think it's ridiculous, and I think if you want to do signing sessions, they should do my dear stuff or something like that for the kids. I just think scrap it now, because I think it's hilarious as well. Like Jack Butland, Player of the Year, voted last week Player of the Year. Do you know what I mean? Like, for a lot of us as well, if Tav was to leave, future Rangers captain, if we don't want to cash in, and you're treating them like that, have a word with yourself, man. It's an absolute shambles.
Yeah, I just thought I'd bring it up because it was over social media last week, and I just thought it was poor. It was poor. Like, I mean, it is an extreme minority in terms of two folk that have done it, but
and old Wally, can I just say as well, I'd imagine he's picked the wrong player to have a go at, because if the Moth has seen that footage, then there's every chance. You know, I've had a few run-ins with the Moth, and he's said
first light over.
Told me, it just, you can't do it with Bomber. So, he's got to watch out for the wee laser floating about. That's what he's got to watch out for.
Yeah, don't mess with Borna Barisic. You know who his dad is. So there you go. Ryan knows about that. But moving on from that to something quite positive, we've known this is going to happen. I'll come to you, Jamie. We've seen, obviously, between the Copeland and Edison House, they've been up to something there. We all kind of knew there was a statue coming for a certain man. It's going to be unveiled. Thanks very much, Charles, for this super sticker. Thanks very much. It's going to be unveiled in the Scottish Cup final, and it is of Sir Walter Smith. Obviously, we are of a certain age, all us. We have grown up under Walter Smith. He is everything. everything about Rangers is Walter Smith for me. Dignified, classy. He's everything a Rangers manager should be. I've had the pleasure of meeting Walter Smith myself. Just a nice guy. Just talk to you. Just a down to earth guy. I think he's brilliant. A big miss, obviously, but that statue, Jamie. It's obviously we've got the John Greig statue, and now we're going to have the Walter Smith statue. I think it's a extreme fitting tribute by Rangers to put that up there for Walter.
I mean, it's a long time coming. You've just mentioned, mate, we're of a certain age that we've sort of seen the 9-0 team, and even when he came back as well with Alan McCoist as assistant, he epitomises everything Rangers is. He's just absolute class. And I think Kevin Thompson always talks about how he just commands a changing room, but above that too, he was just a great man. He's a brilliant man. So I just think it's been a long time coming, but testament to him. If there's any ex-Rangers manager that deserves a statue, it's Walter Smith, because I think you'll be hard pushed asking most Rangers fans who their greatest manager of all time is, and they won't say Walter Smith. So definitely, mate, I'm delighted with that news.
Yeah, Ryan, Walter Smith, I'd assume he is your all-time favourite Rangers manager, Walter Smith, in terms of how long he's managed Rangers in our lifetime. What's your thoughts on the statue and the man, Walter Smith?
The statues, aye. That's the least he deserves. It's the least he deserves. It's the standards that Walter Smith always had for me. He just always is. I'm painting the wall again. Epitomises Rangers. He's a classy guy. He knew what it was to win, and that was the only thing that mattered to him. The players that he got the best out of, average players at times get the best out of. Players, you hear stories on podcasts, interviews, television, whatever, how players just adored playing for him. He was loved as a man, and that's what people need to remember as well. He's obviously left a family behind, and he's a person, but you never hear anyone say a bad word about him. I mean, he was obviously very close with Tommy Burns on the other side, and that for me tells you a lot about him as well, that he didn't kind of let things get in the way. They had a very close relationship, and Walter Smith is one of these people who we're obviously getting a bit older now. I'm turning a certain milestone age very soon, but Walter Smith is one person who has died recently, and I still can't believe it, if that makes sense. Like, I'll see him on the television, and whether it be like a kind of Rangers, I don't know, documentary, a bit of Rangers footage in Walter Smith's there, and every time I see it, I think, geez, he's away. Like, it's just one of those ones I can't quite grasp, because he was such a hero of mine when I was young, and then when he came back, he seemed to learn a lot. He seemed to have learned a lot down in England when he managed the team in Europe, playing one striker up front, making us stuffy to beat. Whereas when he was there in the 90s, he played 4-4-2 and we got absolutely battered for Juventus and everybody else. But he seemed to learn a lot, and I was anxious about him coming back, Ali. I was anxious that he was going to fail and kind of do something to his legacy. How dare I doubt a man of his ability and his stature, because he smashed it again, and he's just the greatest Rangers manager for me. I know we'll talk about Struth and anyone else, but certainly for us, mate, he's the greatest Rangers manager, and yes, epitomises everything as Rangers, as Jamie said, and he deserves a statue at the very least. And now I can be anxious about the statue, Ali. Now I can be anxious about whether the statue is going to look Ronaldo's or not. It has to be an 11 out of 10 statue that you want to take a picture of and kiss and stand next to, because he deserves it. He is the greatest Rangers manager for me.
He does. So I always remember the one with James Corden having a laugh with Beckham with the statue, and he was going absolutely mental with this statue. But yeah, I think it'll be a good statue of Walter. I mean, Walter Smith in his first spell, Jamie, obviously took over for Graham Souness, had a really good Rangers team at that point. I mean, the players that he had there, obviously, we couldn't quite get to the 10 at that point. He said halfway through that season he was leaving, which I don't think helped. Laudrup as well, players like that. He went away, he managed Everton, did well with Everton, who had no money at the time, was assistant manager at Man United under Ferguson, and then had a very successful stint with Scotland, although not getting to a major tournament, but it was successful with them. And came back to Rangers and at that point didn't really have that much money to spend at that point. If you think what he had, won 3 league titles and guided us to, I think it was a UEFA Cup at that point, UEFA Cup final against some big teams. And I agree with Ryan at that. His second spell at Rangers, because it was like when we had at that point and he came in, but I just thought that second spell just showed how great a manager he was, because he could just get players to play for him, and I thought he did with that second spell with that Rangers team.
I think with the 9-0 era, obviously, which we kind of hark back to so lovingly, he had loads of cash behind him, obviously, and he signed some really brilliant players. Do you know what I mean? So, but coming back after being down south and have almost not having his hands tied behind his back, but really he wasn't signing the best of players. The one game that sticks out for me is the cup final at Hampden with 9 men. Mind Kenny Miller scores. Like, I know that they were having a bit of a transitional period where obviously McCoist was going to step into the manager's role the following year, but Walter Smith was still there, and I remember that game, him coming down to the touchline, and it just felt like his presence, his know-how about the game just really impacted on the players, and that just shows the kind of man he was. And Ryan makes a very good point about his stint with Scotland as well, and I think that's why he's so highly regarded across the other side of Glasgow as well, because he was such great pals with Tommy Burns. Just a proper Rangers man, loads of class, but knew when his opponents played well too. You'll be hard pushed finding a better Rangers man. So yeah, again, mate, I think it's great news that he's getting that statue built.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to seeing the statue and what it's like. So yeah, I just thought it was fitting. It's something we've all known has been coming, but we didn't know when. And obviously Rangers have confirmed it. So it would be good if Rangers on that day when it is unveiled could lift a trophy for him that day. That would be much appreciated by this Rangers team.
Ali, can I just say as well, I'm hoping, when I saw what date it was, I'm hoping nobody for the club comes out and says, let's do it for Walter. Or, for me, that's the kind of conversation that's kept in the chain. We've been susceptible to these kind of silly comments before we actually go and do the business, and it's a very special day for his wife and his family for that statue to be unveiled first and foremost. Special for us as well. I'd like the players just to keep their mouths shut about it and just go and do the business, and then say something would be a bit of class, and it would be very Walter Smith, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah, no, I agree. But obviously, we'll get on to these group of players. We do have an old firm before we get on to that final. So.
They were half can we not just talk about the past, please?
Strap yourselves in.
Boys, I think we should actually just go for an hour-long Walter Smith special, because these players actually don't deserve us to talk about them.
Yeah, it's probably a good podcast to do in the summer, potential a Walter Smith special in terms of greatest moments and stuff. So it's probably one
we'll get it in the neck. We'll get it in the neck for less negativity, boys. We'll get it in the neck.
I'd like to think in this podcast we speak what we think. Obviously, we'll come on to the Celtic game. We're not there quite yet, but before we get there, a couple of players that we've been noted in signing. Ryan, I'll come back to you. First one, Oscar Cortez. Looks like he could be coming back to Ibrox next season, whether it is on a permanent deal or, which I would do, and I think Rangers would potentially do, another loan deal potentially. What's your thoughts on Oscar Cortez? Obviously, he's the biggest Rangers thing ever. He came into the Rangers team. I thought he looked quite bright. I thought he looked good. Could go past players, could score goals. Obviously, get injured for Rangers, which is typical. I think Lawns were looking for about 4 million for him in the summer. I doubt Rangers will be looking to pay anywhere near that because he's injured. I would be looking, like I said, at a loan deal possibly next season to see what he's like. But what's your thoughts on Rangers looking like they're getting Oscar Cortez back next season? And thank you very much, Billy McWhirter. Much appreciated.
Two words out of my mouth there. Thank you, Billy. Cortez is one. I think we briefly discussed it on a pod last week or the week before, and whether we would keep or not. I said I think based on a few games, I wouldn't be spending money on him. I think it's too much of a gamble. I think loan players are always trying that extra 5-10% to impress a club to get a move. And then we've seen so many times when loan players actually sign on the dotted line in a permanent deal, their performance levels drop. I think we've been stung with that before, but Cortez has shown something. He looks direct, powerful, constant look to make a positive impact. I like that he shoots. He just looks different to what we've actually got, Ali, on any of the wings. And he's skillful as well, which is another thing that we don't have many skillful players. We're pretty a boring team up front, if you want to put it that way. We don't have somebody who's going to drop a shoulder and beat somebody or whatever. But I would like to think it'll be a loan deal. I would like to think it. I don't imagine, because he's had a kind of semi-bad injury, that there's teams lining up to sign him permanently. I think clubs will probably want to see how he gets on. And then we might have a bit of competition whether we are signing him permanently. So I would like to think we'll strike a loan deal. That, for me, would be a positive move. He does look decent. And then it'll give us an idea of what he's all about. Because if he can do that for 15, 20 games in a season, then we'll pay a pretty penny for him. I would imagine it'll be in excess of £4 million for him. So, yeah, I'm hoping it is a loan deal. And he would, if he was fit, he's straight in my team tomorrow, put it that way. I thought he looked in these 4, 5, half a dozen games, he looked a level above anything that we do have. So he's definitely a player I would like to see at Ibrox next season. But on a common sense approach, it would be a loan deal for me.
Yeah, Jamie, I've said for a wee while now I'd be looking at a loan deal next year to have a proper look at him. But I think he looks exciting. When he came in, we all thought he was going to play in the right, because I think he's right-footed, but he played on the left. Do you think if we bring him in this summer, potentially Sima might not be coming in? Because obviously Sima plays on the left, and obviously I don't know how much money they're looking for Sima, but if we're looking to bring Oscar Cortez in, do you think that might be goodbye for Sima?
I think there's more chance of us getting Cortez back, to be completely honest, boys. I think Brighton might want Sima back off the basis of he had a really good first half of the season. And he scored a lot of goals. Cortez as well, I agree with you boys. Like, I don't think there's any chance that Lons are going to want to try and scoop money for him at the moment in terms of a full-time transfer. I think it's going to be another season-long loan. You would hope that we're kind of get the ball rolling and doing that. But in terms of his ability, like we've big time missed it. I mean, for that as Ryan said, that 5 or 6 games that he played. The game against Hearts sticks out to me. The goal against Hearts, brilliant. Really, the boy's got technique. He's got really close feet. He's got pace. He's got everything you would want from a winger, pretty much. And really, we replaced him with Silva, and we thought we were getting as much in Silva as Cortez. And really, so I actually didn't put the comment up on the screen, but somebody just said when they seen Cortez go down that they thought this is us this season. And we've not replaced him because we were really cooking January, February, and he get injured, and we were lacking something. So I think if we can get that deal done for next season, I think he's going to be a really, really, really important player for us.
Yeah, I'd like to see him back next season on a loan deal. I would, because it's the first real winger I've seen at Ibrox I've been excited about. When he gets a ball, I think he's going to do something with it. He's got pace. Like you say, that goal he scored against Hearts, Shame, a fantastic goal. Yeah, I would give the guy a chance next season if we could get him on a loan. I wouldn't be paying $4 million for him, but I could see Lons doing a deal with him. I really could. I think somebody in the comments said there that Lons don't actually play with natural wingers. So, it looks like a kind of goer because there's a lot of talk about it. I know Heart and Hand have mentioned it as well. So we'll see what happens in the summer. But moving on, we've had, obviously, Ryan, we're going to be linked with every man and their dog in the summer. So strap yourself in. We have been linked with a man, Jose Cordoba, I think he's called, from Levski Sofia. He is a Panama international, 22 years of age, a left-sided centre-half, which we don't really have apart from Ben Davies. I've seen a lot of people saying that he's very, very good on Football Manager. I don't know if that translates into being a good footballer in real life, but I have seen a lot of folks saying he's very good in Football Manager, which is we had not played Football Manager in years. I know Carney plays it, so I'll need to ask Carney about that. But 22 years of age, Ryan, he kind of fits the profile, if you want to say, of a guy that we could potentially have for a few years and move on. But the back line is something that we need major surgery in the summer. And yes, he is one of the first of many guys to come in that back line for us, I think.
Yeah, first of many to be linked, first of many that will come in. I totally agree. Had a wee look. I'd never heard of him. I think most people have not heard of him unless you're playing Football Manager. But I had a wee look on Wikipedia. I wasn't overly moved by what I seen, but it'd be harsh to kind of criticise or say anything about him. It's the unknown. Ali, some players have came here and you've never heard of and don't really impress you on Wikipedia or whatever you look up, and they come here and they hit the ground running. Young guy, 22, so you would think if he's a success here, you would move him on. You'd move him on for money. So in that sense, yeah, it totally makes sense for Rangers to look at a player like that. But then there's the other side of it, the kind of Rangers Dan made it saying, this looks a gamble. Why has nobody else picked a 22-year-old up? He looks as if he's only a year or two into his adult career. I think he's played with Levski Sofia. That's maybe a second division Bulgarian team before that for a handful of games. Not overly impressed by that. Do we need more experience? Do we need to spend money on the back line? I think we do. But you're surmising, Ali, it's like we're going to do this all summer when we go down to doing one pod a week. They're the hardest pod. I always say they're the hardest pods to do. You get linked to half a dozen players. We talk through them. And it's just hope. You just hope that Rangers are going to be shopping in the right market, and you hope this guy's going to hit the ground running. But what I do want is I want tall players. I want physical players, Ali, because our backline is not tall and physical.
He's not tall, apparently, Ryan. I think he's under 6 foot.
6'1" or something like that.
Is that what it is? I thought he was under 6 foot. Some of the comments details.
Wikipedia means nothing, mate. So I think I saw on Wikipedia it's 6'1", but
he is 6'1". There you go. Sorry, Ryan, he is.
Is it right? Great. You need tall centre halves. I'm sorry, for me, and you need physical centre halves and people who are. What he does need is he needs to attack the ball, because defending corners and crosses, we don't attack the ball.
Yeah.
And when we're on the offence for corners, we don't attack the ball either. So he needs to be able to do that. But listen, this is Niles Cloppin, and it's a new scouting system we've got in place. So we've just got to trust it and hope that he is a good signing, because by God, Ali, we are due one.
Yeah, Jamie, I don't know what your thoughts are. I don't know if you've done any homework on this guy. I've had a wee look into him, but we're crying out for. I think we're crying out for two centre halves to start next season. If I'm being honest about it, I don't think John Souttar for me is a starter next season. Good squad player, but I want two centre halves. I agree with Ryan. I want physical guys there, but guys with pace as well. So it'll be interesting to see with this boy. But is there anything you've had a look at this boy, or know anything about him at all?
So I done the famous diving right onto YouTube, boys.
He's a worldie then.
Jose Cordoba 7 minute highlight reel, and watched it with some mental techno music on top of it. So no, it was look, he obviously looks at left-sided centre back. The only one we've got at the club is Ben Davies. I mean, I agree with Ryan. Like, in the league that we're in, it's physical. We need guys that can attack the ball. So we don't really know in terms of the signing policy. We don't know if that's going to be.
That's a belter.
Absolutely been done. I've been done there.
That's how Wikipedia is full of lies. By the way, that's why Wikipedia is full of lies.
And that's why you got the private jet aboard. Not a problem, Jamie. Not a problem. Right, Ali, if you can just remove Dynamite for me and just kick her out of the chat, please. Look her. Very good, very good. I'll take that in the chin.
Brilliant. So yeah, no, I mean, look, I agree with Ryan. I think we're needing boys. I think we're needing 2 new centre backs, and we're needing guys. I think we're needing at least one with experience that knows, because we're going to be back in Europe next season as well. Knows Europe as well. So look, I just think at the moment, as Ryan said, we're going to be getting to summer. We're going to be having a few podcasts talking about players that we're linked with. We just need to show serious faith in Cloppin and in obviously the new scouting department in terms of finding new players. Look, I think they've been no bad so far with everyone but Silva pretty much. So I just think you need to show a bit of faith. If you think this boy's good enough, then let's see and give him a chance.
Yeah, I agree. We're going to be linked with so many guys in the summer. It's going to be unbelievable this summer with Rangers, but it'll be good fun. It's always good fun getting new signings in.
they are the hardest pods to do. Like I think, this will be your first close season, Jamie. And the pods in the summer for me are the hardest ones to do because you're just like you're talking about players that are ranked and you don't know.
It's because there's so much nonsense floating about as well. So you don't really know what's true or not. So you need to sort of react by what we see on Twitter and what we see sort of filtering through Sky Sports and things like that. So it's like we get linked with players all over the shop. So it's gonna be an interesting summer. But I mean, I'm sure we'll go into it later on. But we all know that there needs to be a big time shake up this pre-season anyway. So we'll wait and see.
Yeah, and thanks very much, Charles, for the donation. But I mean, everyone knows that Rangers need players in the summer, so we will be linked with absolutely everybody in the summer. So strap yourself in. But anyway, before we get on to talking about the Old Firm, it is now a time for a word with our sponsors. Our friends over at Manscaped have you covered from head to toe. With the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, this ultimate all-in-one grooming kit is set to have you looking and feeling your best in the summer sun. Trust Manscaped and unlock the confidence you need to turn heads this season. Join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and go to the website manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with code CLUB@22. Let's make this summer your smoothest one yet. Embrace your summer bods goals with all-inclusive Performance Package 5.0, perfect for aiming for that crisp, clean and confident look. Keep your ears and nose as tidy as your hedges next door with our Weed Whacker 2.0 ear and nose hair trimmer. Pesky hair, be gone. Post-trim never felt so good with a Crop Soother Ball Aftershave Lotion. Say goodbye to painful shafting and hello to all-day comfort. For those sunny beach days, don't leave home without the Crop Preserver Anti-Shafting Chafing Ball Deodorant, Let the sun see you shine, not sweat. Your purchase comes with free Boxers 2.0. They are very good, to be honest. We all have them. Comfort and style that fit like a dream. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code CLUB@22 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code CLUB@22 at manscaped.com. The summer sun is here to stay, so trust Manscaped to keep your looking best this summer. And it is very nice today as well. So,
Ali, that was very well done. But I don't know. I wasn't going to disclose this. That's a weird one. That you said you use the Manscaped trimmer on your dog. Is that right?
Yeah, Manscaped have a range out for dogs as well. Aye,
Dogscape.
That could be one for them as well. Right, and cats as well. Don't forget cats. You can bring them in as well.
Oh, I don't forget cats. That's plenty of Kurzuma.
Yeah, but no, thank you to Manscaped as always for supporting the podcast. Yeah, like I said, if you use the code, it supports us a podcast as well. So yeah, much appreciated to Manscaped. Right, here we go, lads. Time for negative. No, I was going to say time for negativity. It is the day is upon us tomorrow. I did mention the Old Firm there, but the other side of the city refer it to as the Glasgow Derby. I think they don't refer to it as the Old Firm. But the presser was today. It was 17 minutes long, Ryan, which was quite long. I listened to it in work. Mm-hmm. The usual kind of nonsense, to be honest, in terms of questions. The main one I'd look for is basically who's available to play. So Balogun is doubtful with a back injury. Obviously went off against Kilmarnock. He did mention that Ryan Jack and Alex Lowry had minutes, but Ryan Jack isn't fit enough, which I found bizarre. We've got 3 games in the league plus a cup final. Ryan Jack isn't used to Rangers and he will be gone in the summer. He's been a good servant, but I did find that quite comical, to be honest, in terms of he had minutes, but he's not fit, so why mention him? But then you look through the injury list line here, especially the top line here. No Sima. We've just talked about Cortez, no Danilo, even though on his Instagram he did say he's going to try and come back for the cup final. No chance. Rabbi Matondo isn't even there as an option, and Connor Goldson. It's a big injury list, Ryan. Obviously, I'll come in other bits of the presser, but in terms of the injuries we've got, it's just summed our season up, innit? It's just one after the other. You get a player back and there's a player out. Even players like Matondo, for instance, they come back and do. I think he does a bit of a job for Rangers coming on. Even he's out now. We are down to the bare bones for tomorrow.
Aye, we are down to bare bones, mate, and I would genuinely after the weekend expect the probable injury list to get bigger. Ridvan, I'd imagine, will play tomorrow. I think he has to, and it wouldn't surprise me if he's not ready to play and it kind of delays his come back to full fitness. Touch wood, that's not the case. But it's just, summed up our season. We've been injury after injury. Do I think it's luck? Not all of it, no. I think there's something we're doing wrong there at Auchenhowie. There's something, whether it's the previous regime, the previous management team that we're in, or the previous medical team, I don't know. I'm not privy to any inside information with that, but we're definitely doing something wrong. I don't know any team who has the amount of injuries we have. And not just that, it's the players coming back, Ryan Jack, Ridvan, Kemar Roof, these players who, the old joke, the old 7 to 10 days, but it literally is, they're days away, they're weeks away, and they can genuinely be 6 months away. How can that be? Are they breaking down? Is it I've heard that Ryan Jack's a recovery, and that's always his problem, but it's just exhausting, Ali. And it's something we were saying this time last year. We were saying we need to get rid of these players, these Ryan Jacks, these Kemar Roofs. We are here a year later, Ali, and we are talking about the exact same thing. The exact same thing. This can't be luck. Players are breaking down and getting injured, and we need to get to the root cause of why that is. That's up to Clement, his medical team, but it needs to change because it's a detriment to the squad, especially at this time of season when you've got 40, 50 games under your belt. It's a detriment to the other players who may need a rest or you may need to utilise your squad. Clement can't utilise the squad because he has nothing. You'll look at that bench tomorrow and you'll go, Jesus, where's our subs? And it's where we're at, unfortunately. Is it an excuse? I'll never use it as an excuse. Never. Rangers should be going out tomorrow, 11 against 11, giving it their all, getting in their faces, all the phrases you want to use. But there is no getting away from the fact that we have got a depleted squad, and it's lacking quality throughout the spine, unfortunately.
Yeah, Jamie, I mean, the injuries we've had this season, like I say, it seems to happen most years with us, but this season in particular, it's just been one after the other. I mean, the whole front line's been bloated. I mean, you go through the players, I mean, just go through them there. Who would play? Sima would play. Cortez would play. Danilo would probably play through the middle. I still think Goldson would play if he was available. So there's quite 5 players there, just 4 or 5 players I've rhymed off there that could potentially play tomorrow. And it's Clement said when he came in, that was one of the first things he said was about these injuries. And he has mentioned it's to do with Rangers pre-season under Beale at the beginning of this season. And obviously you're getting into the business end of the season, as I always say, and all these players are breaking down. So it'll be interesting in the summer what type of pre-season Clement has with these players and who he brings in, because we can't continually go through seasons with players that can't last a couple of games for Rangers and they're out. Ryan Jack's a prime example, but we need to move these players on, like Ryan says.
Aye. I mean, you need to take Clement at face value when he's saying these things, and obviously he truly believes deep down that these players didn't have a good enough pre-season, and that's why at this stage in the season they're breaking down and getting injuries. Amber Ryan, I think there might be a deeper issue. We don't know behind the scenes, but I just think there's something with the medical department. It's very strange to me that Ridvan seemed to be 2 weeks after he was injured at the international break. Then, do you know what I mean? You're in at 6 weeks, and that's not just him. That's happened with multiple players when they said they're coming back. Sima, Matondo, players that could be key for us in the run-in. So something's got to give next season. So, but I just think we can only judge Clement on a full season. Give him a pre-season, give him his players, and then we'll see how we are next season. But yeah, it's tiring talking about injuries and really like the reason that there's a lot of negativity swirling around our support as well is because we're down to the bare bones. As Ryan says, you're going to look at our bench tomorrow and you're going to be thinking, what is going on, man? There's not going to be any quality. On the flip side, Celtic have got basically all the good players back. So we, as you said, mate, we're going to try and be as positive as we can with what's going to happen. But I just think, for next season, they need to address, if it's the medical department, if it's pre-season, like, we just got to trust Clement that he's going to get it right in terms of players being fit enough to last three domestic cups and in Europe as well, because we want to be going far in Europe too.
Yeah, it'll be a fascinating summer in terms of who he brings and how we approach pre-season and stuff, and ultimately how we start next season in the league, because we all know what happened last season. The way we started, looks like we didn't start at all, to be honest. But obviously in the presser, he was asked a few things. He did mention about, in terms of if Rangers drew, they could still be champions. He did say, right, he's going to go for the win. If Rangers draw it, it's game over for me. I wouldn't be mentioning that. He also says Rangers need to improve the start of the game, which we all know that, and be more efficient. Ryan, Rangers have shot themselves in the foot against Celtic in most games against them, in terms of we gift them goals. And it's usually within the first half of a game, especially at Parkhead. I was looking today, Rangers haven't won at Parkhead in nearly 4 years. The last time we won at Parkhead was the COVID season, when I think it was Goldson scored 2 goals there, which is a shocking record at Parkhead. But they need to be on it, Rangers, for the start, because you know how Celtic are going to play. It's going to be gun-ho for the first 20 minutes. We all know how they play. Their fans will be up for it. They'll be up for it. Is this Rangers team going to be up for it, or are we going to stand like rabbits and headlights like we've done before?
Well, do you want me to keep it positive, or do you want me to tell you how
say what you think now.
I think most people would think, based on what you've seen in Old Firm games so far this season, that they're going to be like rabbits and headlights. Let's hope they're not. But that's if they're kind of Old Firm form, any other form aside, Old Firms tell you anything that they'll be caught like rabbits and headlights. In terms of their record at Celtic Park, it's beyond embarrassing. I think they've won twice there in over 10 years, something crazy like that. Once under Gerrard, once in the season we won it. And it's something that worries me about the old guard, or the players who have had a lot of beatings there. I worry that they have got a kind of PTSD, or they seem to struggle with playing against them, not just at Celtic Park but Ibrox as well, because the everyone and anyone kind of campaign or slogan has been banded about Ibrox since Clement came in, and I think you felt that synergy that he goes on about. And at the Old Firm game a few weeks ago, I certainly felt it before the game, and I felt it for 20 seconds inside the ground as well. I felt that we were all together and let's give them hell here. And I saw players collapse. I saw, where I sit, I'm very close to the pitch. I saw players terrified. I saw players not wanting the ball. I'm talking senior players. And it worries me that's how they feel when they play against them, that they've been beaten so many times that they think, oh, geez, this again. And it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. I've said numerous times in the chat, our group chat, I've said I'm fed up of hearing how bad Celtic are, because when it comes to playing us, we make them look great. We go through half-hour spells where we make them look good to a point that they kill the game off. And that can't happen tomorrow. We've seen Hearts go to Celtic Park and win. Other teams have went there, and Celtic have struggled against teams at Celtic Park this season. So they're not all that, but we can't keep saying that. We can't keep going into these games and letting them play down the gears but still beat us and still dominate and still be scared of them. They just look physically stronger and quicker than us. And tomorrow that can't be the case, because if it does, that's your season's by. It's over. If you do that tomorrow, it's over, because they will kill you in 20 minutes, 30 minutes. We said it in texting each other during the week again. They need to be brave tomorrow, Ali. They cannot muck about. I'm exhausted saying it. I am exhausted. The punters in the chat will be exhausted me saying it, but I've seen it so many times from this team. That's why my expectations are so low. I can't remember the last time we played an Old Firm game that mattered and we were in about their faces and we proper dominated the game. I can't remember the last time, and that's why I feel the way I feel. So I'm hoping I'm completely wrong. I'm hoping these players have had some sort of revelational wake-up call, and I'm just fed up hearing, right, this is a game we need to show the fans we're sorry and we need to make up for it. I'm fed up hearing it, just do it. So I hope I'm wrong, but that's what they need to do. They need to get in about their faces and high energy, because the high energy has completely gone in this team. I've not seen high press or an urgency about this team for weeks now, and that needs to be there.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, Ryan. And if you talk to Rangers fans, I've talked to Rangers fans all week at work and stuff. I've not come across one that thinks Rangers are going to win at Parkhead, and I just think they've kind of sucked every bit of confidence we had in them out the support, to be honest, and the way they've played recently. I know they beat Kilmarnock, but even the first half was lethargic again. Jamie, the game against Celtic at Ibrox, there was all us there. We had a chance to go 5 points clear at that point. And Rangers froze for me in the first half. Celtic dominated us. Probably should have had the game out of sight in the first half. And it can't happen at Parkhead again. It can't. Because they'll be up for it, Celtic. And you look at their team, Celtic, and the midfield and up front for me, I've said about the Celtic midfield, and you have to hold your hands up. They've got a good midfield in terms of McGregor, Hatate and O'Reilly. They've got legs and energy in there, and they've got guys that can hurt you in the top line of the park in terms of Maeda, who Tav struggles with. It forces Tav back, and obviously Kyogo. I was speaking to Stuart Work, and you go through the years, they've always had a guy that scores goals against us. Look back at all their strikers. We've never had that in terms of probably going back to Jelavic, Kenny Miller eras, if you want to say, away back then. But Rangers have to start tomorrow for the first whistle. We can't be sitting off them, because if we do, the game will be done and dusted within half an hour, I think.
Look, you're not going to get stacks of positivity from me, folk in the chat and folk that are listening. I'm along the same lines as Ryan, but solely because I was at the game that day, the 3-3. We were just shell-shocked. We went 1-0 down, and we just asked them to come on to us and score more goals. And if it wasn't for a worldy save from Jack Bond at 3-0 at half-time, and that's not a 3-3 draw, obviously comes out and says, it's a moral win and all that. Folk walking away for the ground that day. Ali, I met you in the pub after, and we all knew. We all felt okay. It's a valiant comeback. They tried their best, you know what I mean? And then Matondo's goal was good, and they dug into the end. But really, we had to win that game. So, and then you're going to Ross County. You're getting beat for the first time ever. You're going to Dundee with the chance of, after making a real arse of it, being 1 point ahead. Okay, we'll take that. Nah, make an arse of it again. So look, because these players have went and really not turned up in these vital games. These games were as important as tomorrow, or the Old Firm at Ibrox. They were, and they didn't turn up for us. So that's the reason why all week in group chats, folk in your work everywhere, folk aren't confident. It's because yet again these players have let us down. If they hadn't, we'd be going to Parkhead thinking, there's a good chance of this here. But look, it's the same old, and it's going back to what we were talking about with the scouting department and who we're going to sign. It's feeling like it really needs to be a clear out, because the mentality is not there. Again, Ryan's talking about a lot of these players of being at Parkhead for really bad results. Scar tissue is still there, 100%. It is, and it pains me to say it. We didn't use our fans that day. We didn't have any fans in. Even at 1-0, it was silent, and I wrote silent. There wasn't enough. But guaranteed, if they went 1-0 down, they would use their fans. Again, don't like saying it, but that's what else. So that's what Clermont needs to drum into them tomorrow. Is it's going to be a real raucous atmosphere in Parkhead. You need to get out there. You need to try and beat their press as well. We're not same at Ibrox. They pressed us high. Maeda gave Tav a really, really, really torrid time. You would like to think tactically we've looked at that, because they've got one way of playing. So you'd like to think tactically we've looked at that, and we've got some form of plan tomorrow. But boys, I wish I was confident, and you know mostly I'm always glass half full. But going into tomorrow, it's for the first time in a long time. Nah, not too confident.
Yeah, Ryan, Clermont was asked about Brendan Rodgers' comments after they beat Hearts, and he said something along the lines of, we're going to have fun next week, which I like, because that's your team talk for you right there, in terms of they think we're a bit of a joke, and fair play to them, to be honest, because we have been a joke going to Parkhead. But that's, for me, that is the team talk to show to these players. This is what they think about you. Go and show them that you're not. But do you think that even that could put a firework up this set of players' arses?
No.
I don't hear that, to be honest.
No. And you know, honestly, I want to be on the pod on Tuesday or the next pod we do, and I want egg all over my face, and I want the person M1872, the loyal, the staunch. I want them on here telling me how negative I was and how terrible that is and blah blah blah. But no, it doesn't happen. These players never turn up for us. They never do it. They never put egg on my face. So there's a challenge. I want to be on this pod, totally eating all my words, and it should be that. And they shouldn't need that, Ali. We have these conversations before every Old Firm game. That should be the fire for them. Now they should turn up. That if anything, now they should be up in their form. Now they should up their game. If there's a time that they should be doing it, it's now. They never do it, and that's why you see. I appreciate people are in the chat and stodge and loyal and positive, and I respect it. It's a game of opinions. I do respect it, but that's why you're outweighed by 100 comments to 1 that people are just had enough. Had enough of getting let down, had enough of seeing players bottle against Celtic, had enough of watching Celtic win trophies that we really shouldn't have won because they've not been great teams. They were there for the taking this season. Absolutely there for the taking. We came back into it with a total buzz, with a new manager, and they were there for the taking. And this is, somebody might correct me, if they do go on to win the league this year, Celtic, I think this is the worst year I can think of that they should not have won the league. I can't remember a year where we really did have a chance of winning it. We really should have won it. The 10-in-a-row season when we should have won 10, I think we could have won it that year, but this is something else. They've just not been great, Celtic. They've been ready to turn on their manager, and we've never been able to. We get to a stage where we have our foot on their neck, Ali, and we just don't press. We don't cut off their air pipe. We don't. I know that's a bit graphic, but we don't kill them off. We just flirt with the idea of maybe causing them a bit of pain and getting them to get the shots out again. We never do it. So I appreciate some of the positive comments in there, but nothing will boost the players. A comment for Rodgers like that is just making fun of us. It really is. I know people say it wasn't a lack of respect. It was, but that's him. And it's up to the players. It's up to the players to ram up him. I really hope they do. And then I would like to, if we did the business tomorrow, I'd love Clement to say, do you know what? We had fun today. That's what we should be doing. Yeah. Do I think it will happen though? I'm sorry. You know, I've got to be honest.
No, I'd like to think that's what people listening to us, Ryan, because we are honest in terms of our opinions and what we think. I'm completely the same as you, Ryan. I'm completely the same. I don't know what this team need to get themselves going and going there tomorrow. I mean, it's a perfect opportunity for these players to go to Parkhead with it's all them in the ground and really to spoil their party, because they are going for a party. If you talk to Celtic fans at the moment, they're going there for a party tomorrow. They're extremely confident. You can't blame them because they've got our number. Most seasons, this season in particular, and at their own ground. So, it'll be interesting more. I know I can always get a feel after the first 10 minutes of the game, but Rangers have to take their chances tomorrow when they come along. Jamie's man D9 has to take his chance when it comes, and there he is as usual, Justin Muir, much appreciated. God bless America. And we will be using Ryan's private jet to come to Texas to see you in the summer. That has been confirmed. So we will be coming to see you. But let's get on to teams' scores and first goal scorers. Ryan, I'll come back to you. What's your team? I mean, the team I've gone with is the team I think Clement will go with. So you can either go with the team you think Clement's going to go with or the team you would play, but your team score and first goal scorer, if there is a first goal scorer for Rangers.
Well, I'm going to go with the team I would play. I'm not going to go as brutal as I went with after the who was it, Petersross County, and I think I dropped every single player. I'll go with Jack Butler in the goal. There's a shocker. Hopefully I'll get a signature off him after the game. Tavernier, Suter, Davies. I think Ridvan will start. I don't think he's fit. I don't think he's ready. But what is your option? I don't think you have another option at left back. I genuinely mean that. I don't think you can play ball at Celtic Park, and I never want to see it again. So I'm going to play Ridvan left back, Diamande, Lundstrom, Dijon on the right. I'm dropping Cantwell, boys. I'm playing. Oh no, I'm not, because I just realised I need to play Silver in. I'm not. I'm going to play Lawrence. I'm going to play Cantwell on the left coming in. And I'm going to play D9 up front. So Silva is dropped and Lawrence comes in. But Lawrence plays centre and Cantwell kind of on the left. And I will go 2-1 Rangers. There's your positivity. Whether you believe it or not is up to you. And I will go D9 first goal. There you go.
Oof. I'm pretty close to you, Ryan. And there's one guy that I think he will play, but I think I'm pretty much the same team as you, to be honest. Jamie, what's your team score?
I'm the same. I'm almost bang on. I don't think there's been a time on the podcast where I've had the same team as you boys. I think that seems like a good team. I think the only time that Cantwell's played out wide is against Aris, I think, but it was on the right. But I just think with the creative flair of Cantwell and Lawrence together, I think it's a good shout. I think, ideally, I would like to have Big Doo Sterling in the middle of the park, getting at McGregor and beating their press and cutting out balls. It's obviously not going to happen because we need them to play in the right. So I'm going the exact same team as Ryan. I think it's a half decent team with what we've got. And I'm going to copy his scoreline as well. I'm going to go 2-1, but I'm going to go Tom Lawrence to score tomorrow.
Why?
Yeah, and I'm the same team. I'm playing Lawrence out in the left though, because he's played there for Derby quite a lot. So I was playing him out.
It's given him another go. I think I think he let us down that Old Firm game. There's no doubt about it. And I've been so disappointed with him, but you can see what he did last week. You know he's got it in his locker, and I think he deserves another chance. I think he's made a bigger impact than Cantwell maybe the last couple of weeks. Not to jump all over the pod, Ali, because I know you're hosting, but I just want to ask you, just before we wrap up, if you had to change one thing over the past dozen Old Firm games, what would you like to see tomorrow, Ali? One thing you would like to see tomorrow, apart from the obvious a win, etc. What have you not seen in the past dozen games that you'd like to see tomorrow?
I'd like to see a bit of hunger. I'd like to see Rangers come out for a minute for a kick-off, Ryan, and show that there's something about them. That's what I'm looking for. I'll be honest, Ryan, I'm sick watching a Rangers Celtic game where we sit off and they come at us and they press us. I don't see a Rangers team going out there and going, "Nah, we're going to take the game to you. This is our ball." I don't see it. That's what I want to see from them tomorrow, Ryan, for kickoff.
Yeah.
What do I think I'm going to see it? I don't, but that's what I want to see. Yeah. Jamie?
Same.
But look, boys, Curry Munch has just said desire. He nails it. He nails it there because we've not seen it. Like put to bed the fact that we lost that goal 27 seconds in. Even after that, up until we'd conceded the penalty at Ibrox, there wasn't any of that there. There wasn't any of that there. Like, really, these players need to know they're in a game. The past few Old Firm games, they've not known it until it's too late. For instance, Parkhead going down 2-0. We got some fight. Tav scores a free kick. Oh, is it on? So then they show it. They show it.
It's not good enough.
They show it too late. They show it when the game's finished. Show it when the game starts, and then you might get a positive result. But I'm finished with just. Do you know what I mean? Coming into the game, the 50th, 60th minute, when Celtic have ran over the top of us, go and show us tomorrow you've got a bit of heart and a bit of desire, because there's no other better game for it.
Yeah.
I completely agree. And my team, like I said, is the same as you boys. I think he'll play Buddy Silva tomorrow. I really do. I think he'll play him. I'm sick of Silva. I know he scored against Kilmarnock and he did his celebration.
Right. Can I just jump in there? I know I said to you boys off camera, right? I was at the game, and honestly, like, I've never been more furious inside Ibrox as I was when he did that. And I seen somebody come out saying, "Oh, but the celebrations to the media and all that." What a load of bollocks! It wasn't he. He done that to the that to the stadium. So see if he came in and if he'd performed not through his cell about the floor in that last Old Firm game. Honestly, an absolute embarrassment. He should have never worn a Rangers shirt ever again. So I think there's obviously something in that we need to play him. But I just had to vent that frustration there because that was a shambles from him that day, man. Total shambles. Ali, I'm with you, mate. I think it pains me to say it, but I think he actually might start Silva tomorrow.
Yeah. I think I don't know if there's something that's contact or what, but I'm bracing myself for Silva to play. And I agree with you, Jamie. I don't like seeing that, especially against Kilmarnock. If he does it tomorrow for Rangers to win,
fair dues.
Do it in front of us. I don't give a monkeys. Do it in big games where it matters. He's just not done it for me. But yes, that is us just over the hour with our lads. Good podcast. Before we go, I'd like to thank everyone in the comments, everyone for the kind donations as well. And last but not least, my guest tonight, Jamie. Any final words before we disappear tonight?
I think I gave a bit of a rousing speech last time before the 3-3 game. I'm not going to bother this time. I'm just going to back up what I've just said there. Just go out tomorrow and just show a bit of heart and a bit of desire. It doesn't matter they were depleted. Just go and put in a proper Rangers performance befitting of the badge on your chest.
Yes, well said. And Ryan, any final words for this team tomorrow?
I've got some final words for you, but I'll text you after. Listen, see if you can't go and show it tomorrow, and you can't show fight, and you can't get close to this lot tomorrow, and you can't show fight, you're at the wrong club. As simple as that. If you cannot show it tomorrow, you're at the wrong club. So any player tomorrow, I don't see high energy, high pressing, getting close, make contact with him. These 5-a-side tackles drive me crazy. I want to see contact. I want to see heart, desire, the lot. And if you can't do that, I am done with you. And that includes the captain and the rest of them. I want to see it all tomorrow. Leave it on the pitch because we don't win tomorrow. It is over. But let's hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's down to these players tomorrow to show us fans that are going into tomorrow's game not overly optimistic, to be honest, but to show us that they've actually got something about them. They've got a big chance, these Rangers players, for as much as we've slaughtered them over the last few weeks. They've got a big chance tomorrow to go and win a league title. It's there in front of them. Go and show us, as we talk about all the time, application, Ryan, desire, the basics. Go out and show us. We've got a cup final.
Go and shut us up. Go and shut us up, basically. That's what you're
saying. Desperate for it. Desperate for them to show us that we've got a cup final coming up in 2 weeks' time. If Rangers go into tomorrow and do what they've done in previous games, folk won't be confident. That's my dog in the background with a toy there. but aye, go and show us tomorrow, Rangers. Like I say, it's there for you. You've been written off by the majority of our support. You've been written off by their support and their manager, but it's there for you. Go and lay it all on the pitch. If Rangers get beat by the better team tomorrow, we can hold our hands up, as he's in the background. Do you like that, right?
He's trying to communicate. He's trying to communicate.
He's looking for some Rangers songs at the moment. We'll need to wait till tomorrow morning for that. But
yes, go and give him content.
Yes, as my dog's going tonto in the background, we will leave it there. But yeah, thanks for my guest tonight and everyone in the comments. We'll be back with a match reaction tomorrow. I think it's just myself tomorrow, which I honestly brace myself for that one. But yes, we have been Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, and we'll be back tomorrow. Good night.